Have you ever wondered how a single city, once just a cluster of huts on the muddy banks of the Tiber, rose to command one of the greatest empires the world has ever known? How a handful of farmers, warriors, and dreamers built a civilization that stretched from the misty hills of Britain to the golden sands of the Middle East? And how, after centuries of triumph and glory, that same mighty empire collapsed into ruin? Today, we embark on an extraordinary journey through ambition, conquest, betrayal, and destiny to uncover the breathtaking story of the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. Our story begins, as legend tells it, in 753 BC. Two twin brothers, Romulus and Remus, abandoned as infants, were said to be raised by a she-wolf. A myth, yes, but myths often carry truth. When Romulus killed Remus to become the first king, it wasn't just murder. It was the birth of an idea. Rome would survive, no matter the sacrifice. Soon, the Romans grew tired of kings. After overthrowing a tyrant, they swore never to be ruled by one again. They created something revolutionary, a republic, governed by elected senators and bound by law, not bloodlines. This was the start of the Roman dream. For nearly 5 centuries, the Roman Republic expanded relentlessly. Its legions, disciplined, loyal, and fearsome, became Rome's iron fist. After conquering Italy, they looked across the sea to Carthage, a city of immense wealth and naval power. The two titans clashed in a series of brutal conflicts known as the Punic Wars, which would decide who ruled the ancient world. Picture it, Hannibal leading his army, elephants and all, across the freezing Alps. No GPS, no modern gear, just pure brilliance and iron will. He struck Italy like lightning, winning victory after victory. But Rome refused to die. They rebuilt, rearmed, and sent their own genius, Scipio Africanus, to attack Carthage itself. At the Battle of Zama, Rome triumphed. Carthage was destroyed. Rome became the undisputed master of the Mediterranean, Mare Nostrum, our sea. With their rivals gone, Roman ambitions soared. They absorbed Greece, taking not just land, but ideas, philosophy, art, science. Their banners flew from Syria to Spain. But with greatness came greed. As Rome expanded, so did corruption. Senators grew rich, generals grew powerful, and the system that had made the Republic strong began to crack under its own weight. Then came Julius Caesar. Brilliant, ruthless, charismatic, a man who would reshape history. Caesar conquered Gaul, modern-day France, in a campaign of unmatched genius. His victories filled Rome with wealth and the Senate with fear. They saw him as a threat. When they ordered him to disband his army, Caesar made a fateful choice. He crossed the Rubicon River declaring, "The die is cast." Civil war erupted. When the dust settled, Caesar emerged victorious, declaring himself dictator for life. Rome had traded freedom for order, but power breeds envy. On the Ides of March 44 BC, Caesar fell beneath the daggers of his own senators, including his friend Brutus. "Et tu, Brute," he supposedly whispered, and with his death, the Republic bled out. Out of the chaos rose Caesar's adopted son, Octavian, later known as Augustus. Cold, calculating, and brilliant, Augustus ended the civil wars by defeating Mark Antony and Cleopatra. Then he did what no one had dared. He became Rome's first emperor. This was the dawn of the Pax Romana, 200 years of relative peace and prosperity. Rome flourished like never before. Grand cities rose from dust. Aqueducts carried fresh water across mountains. An incredible network of stone-paved roads connected an empire of 70 million people. The Colosseum echoed with the roar of crowds as gladiators fought for glory and survival. Under emperors like Trajan, Hadrian, and Marcus Aurelius, the empire reached its golden age. For a time, it seemed Rome was eternal. But no empire is invincible. By the 3rd century AD, the Roman world was rotting from within. Its sheer size made it nearly impossible to govern. The army, once Rome's pride, turned into a monster, loyal only to gold and ambition. Generals overthrew emperors. Emperors murdered generals. In one 50-year span, more than 20 emperors ruled, and most died violently. This was the crisis of the 3rd century. Meanwhile, along the borders, new forces stirred. The Goths, Vandals, Franks, and Huns, what Romans called barbarians, were desperate nations on the move. They pressed against Rome's borders, demanding land and protection. The empire's resources bled away, funding endless wars. Emperors debased the currency, making coins of lead instead of silver. Inflation exploded, trade collapsed, and plagues ravaged the cities. Faith itself began to change. Rome's old gods no longer inspired hope. A new faith rose from the east, Christianity. At first persecuted, it grew stronger with every martyr. Then came Constantine the Great. He embraced Christianity, forever changing Rome's soul. He also moved the capital to the east, founding Constantinople, a city destined to outlive the West by 1,000 years. The Western Empire was dying. Its economy was shattered, its politics corrupted. The army was filled with foreign mercenaries who fought for pay, not patriotism. In 410 AD, the unthinkable happened. The Visigoths sacked Rome. For the first time in 800 years, the Eternal City fell to an enemy. Shockwaves rippled across the world. Rome, once invincible, was now vulnerable. Then the Vandals invaded, looting and burning. Attila the Hun, the scourge of God, tore through what was left of the empire. By the time the dust settled, Rome was just a shadow. Its legions were gone. Its glory had faded. In 476 AD, the final chapter was written. A young boy, Romulus Augustulus, the last emperor of the West, was quietly deposed by a Germanic chieftain. There was no great battle, no grand farewell, just silence. The Western Roman Empire was no more, and yet Rome never truly died. Its spirit lived on in the Byzantine Empire for another 1,000 years. Its laws shaped Europe. Its architecture inspired nations. Its ideas became the backbone of Western civilization. Even today, when we speak of power, we use Rome as the standard. Empires, senates, Caesars. Rome lives in our languages, our cities, and our dreams. Empires rise and empires fall. But Rome is eternal. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more epic stories from the past. And let me know in the comments, which ancient civilization should we explore next?